All right, so we're going to keep this really quick and to the point, and we're going to start with something that is non controversial to try to build some credibility before I say some things that you probably won't agree with. So, if we're looking at investable sets from the last 12 months, Lorwyn's going to be top of the list, right? It came out, it was incredibly well received, super playable, core magic, really good theming, really good flavor, um, and it's just been really well received. And what's interesting is we've seen negative price action in the last like couple months, which makes sense. It just kind of happens. The set comes out, people are excited about it, attention starts to fade, right? And people move on to the next cool thing. Prices drop, and here we sort of hit the trough of the set, right? Like trading at like $360 a box. And this is where attention is sort of at its low. But like what we're still continuing to see is we're still sort of like seeing this steady drawdown in supply. People are continuing to buy, people are continuing to play, people are continuing to rip. Um, and the set is just going to continue to do well over the next couple like months to years. So if we're looking at sets for the next 12 to 24, what our thesis is, yeah, this set's good. We don't have a lot of good core magic coming out. This set's really collectible. The fractured foils are really, really cool. And we also have serialized cards in this set. We've got the serialized Bitterbloom, and the art here is incredible. And something that we've really seen is just that, like, the serialized cards really do drive, like, the collectability and investability. So it's sort of the number one green flag to look for in new Magic. So, yeah, if you just want to pick up a couple boxes, I would hold on to a few, check back in 24, 36 months, see where they're at. It reminds me, honestly, a lot of a Bloomborough, flavor-wise. And we've all sort of seen what's happened with Bloomborough, right? Bloomborough has almost no set value, but the boxes have just continued to like climb upward, sort of defying gravity, right? They came out at like 200 and now they're trading at 8. There's no positive EV here, but the people just love the set, so the box is going to continue to do well. And I think we'll just see the exact same thing with Lorwyn. All right, Ether Drift. People hate it, and that's okay because it has an entirely different thesis than Lorwyn does. So that's one of the big things you want to look at when you get into TCG investing is not every set has the same components that are driving demand. Ether Drift came out, people thought it was cool like before the release, but we saw the set come out and prices just absolutely collapsed, right? People hate the yellow foils, people hate the racing theme, and you know what? That's okay. Um, we've seen sort of steady demand still, regardless of like how much people like in quotation marks hate the set. And something that's interesting that's happened recently is the EV has literally flipped. So if you open a box, statistically, you are more likely to receive cards that are worth more than the cost of the box. AKA, if you buy a box for $200, you are more than likely to get more than $200 worth of cards on average. This just doesn't make sense. When you have sets that are mispriced like this, it creates a massive, massive buying opportunity in the sealed product. And it's just like this price is just not going to sustain. We've seen prices sort of repriced with Magic. Sets, the collector boosters are not coming out at $200 anymore, and they're probably not going to like ever. With just how much Universes Beyond is coming out, how much Wizards seems intent on raising the prices of their trading card game, and just like sort of the attention that we've seen. Core Magic doesn't have as many sets coming out, and this is like fundamentally Core Magic. And we also have, going back to Lorwyn, serialized cards. When you open a box, you have a chance of hitting like the one of whatever, like Ether Spark trading at, I don't know, $1,600, $2,000 for like near mint copies. So the price on the sealed boxes just fundamentally does not make sense, right? You can still get cases, yeah, sub $200 a box. So I don't know. We've seen this happen time and time again where we have bad sets and like over time people kind of forget. The supply dries up. People rip it because, hey, it's not worth anything. Open the box, try to get some good cards. And if you just want another example of this, look at Karlov Manor, right? Karlov Manor was another terrible, terrible set. I would say fundamentally, it's way worse than Ether Drift. Ether Drift has some cool shit in it, genuinely. Karlov, I don't really think so. But what we've seen over the last 1 year, look at that. Trading at $200 a box, all of a sudden, supply dries up. We're trading at like 300. And the people that are buying, when you have positive EV and you just want to play the game, there is no price difference between $200 and $300 a box. $200 and $300 a box are the same price, like psychologically. So it just doesn't matter. But if you're putting your money into a set, $200 or $300 is a 50% return on investment. You can buy this box, hold it for the next 12 to 24 months. You'll probably see a 50% return on your money. This is not investment advice, but I would pick up the set. All right, this is gonna get ripped apart, but here we go. Spider-Man. Yeah, it has like the exact same investment thesis that Ether Drift does. But it's like literally 10 times stronger. Spider-Man, I really have no interest in the IP, right? I think that most of the Magic community also has no real interest in the IP, but here's the problem. It's a Universes Beyond set, and it's currently trading at $350 a box, right? What Spider-Man is now is Spider-Man is a lottery ticket. If you look at the price of the serialized Soulstone, these are still actively trading for over $30,000, right? And these aren't like made up like fantasy numbers. Like if you go on eBay, like these are consistently trading at $30,000 each, which is absolutely absurd for something that costs $300, right? So if we look at the box, we sort of discount the EV. Let's say 50% is generally what you'll get. If we ignore the Soulstone, 50% is probably the value of the cards you'll see. So each one costs like maybe $200. You're buying a $200 lottery ticket to see a $30,000 card, which is like I don't even know. I don't know what the odds are, but like has to be better than like scratchers, right? So we've got the lottery ticket, we've got the IP, we've got the sealed collectors, we've got literally everything going for it. And the fact that people hate it honestly is probably the biggest driver of demand you could possibly want to see. People are going to rip the set. People are going to ignore the set. People are going to let it die a slow and painful death. Except for the part where it doesn't. It's going to come back. We can look at that exact same chart we saw in the last example with the Karlov Manor like boxes. Do you really think that the Spider-Man boxes should be trading anywhere near Karlov Manor? Karlov's trading at $300 a box. Spider-Man's at $350. How are we paying $50 more for a box that might have a $30,000 card in it? It literally doesn't make sense, right? And you sort of have to ignore the narrative right now that Spider-Man's a terrible set, and you just have to like, you can't get emotional about like the money you're putting in if you're actually here to invest or like just be a sealed collector. The story just like it doesn't matter when the fundamentals are trading in like complete opposite of where they should be. So I don't know. This just seems like the easiest pickup